Hey everyone, Terry Van Hoven here, and this is a tutorial on how to model your walkers, like a new model, or if you want to make a custom one, whatever. So first of all, you need Last Oasis Modkit. You need this installed in order to get these files. What you want to do is you want to head over to the content browser, you want to go to Mist, Props, and then to Vehicles. What you want to do is you want to go, normally it will look like this. You want to go and hit static mesh, or you can also go into the filters and just do this static mesh, and then just open up static meshes, then select one and then all, then right click. It will take a while because it loads every mesh up into the content browser. And then you want to hit asset actions and then bulk export. You don't want to hit export, otherwise it's just going to be one file. You want to do bulk export. And then you want to make a new folder, and then you want to just hit this into just wanted to select this folder basically and just export it over there. I've already done it. There's the props in here. There's all the meshes and everything, so I don't have to do this right now anymore. You want to export it as FBX 2019, just the latest version, and then everything else. I'm just going to cancel it, but just put export all into it, and it will take a while to export everything over into the folder. And then once you've done that, open up Unreal Engine 5.3. So here we are now not in Last Oasis, in Unreal Engine 5.3. I've already dragged the folder into this, but basically what you want to do is you want to open up the folder. So you want to go into Game, then Mist, Props, Vehicles, and then you want to just drag and drop the vehicle folder into this area over into the content browser. What this will do is it will import everything. Make sure you just leave the normal settings and just hit OK. It will take a while in order to put everything in there. And then one other thing you have to do is go to Edit, and then File, and then just Save All, or just hit Ctrl Shift S. Otherwise, your static meshes won't be in here anymore. Alright, so once we've done everything about this, now you have every single file in here. You have every single mesh that is used for the walkers specifically. You don't have the wings, you don't need that. You only need the meshes in order to make custom walkers. So let me just put a buffalo walker out here. And as you can see, this is, way up into the distance, so you can't see anything where it's at. Just double click in the outliner on the SM Buffalo 4. Double click here and it will bring you to this page. Also, if you have trouble with your camera settings, you can change the camera speeds in here. Normally it's probably at around 3 or 1 or whatever. And you can change it up to 0.3, 0.3, like, just fiddle around with it and choose your own speed that you want. Now, the other thing is you probably have these enabled. So once you move stuff around, it's always going to be by the grid. Basically, what this does is it enables the snapping of a grid when dragging objects around. So when I turn this off, I can just freely do it. When I turn it on, it's only 10 per. If I move this up to, let's say, 500, it's only going to be 500 times, as you can see. This is a good way to actually measure things and make sure they're always the same kind of grid. We go back to grids in a second here. There's also snapping to a rotation grid. If you hit E, or you can also just manually click here, I believe, somewhere. I'm not sure anymore, but I'm used to the buttons. If you hit E, you can always basically rotate these 90 degrees or minus 90 degrees, you know, into the ground and stuff like that. If you want to do this freely, you can also do that just by clicking it on top, and now you're doing it freely. And then we also have the enables of scaling. So if you hit R, this little gizmo pops up, and you can now scale it based on the grid. And into this direction as well as the top direction. You can also scale it in size, and you scale it by also like moving your mouse basically. So yeah, I don't usually I normally don't use this in the grid most of the time, but it's actually more accurate if you use it. So yeah. If you want to see perspective, you can see the top of the thing in here. You can also see the bottom, and you can see the left and right. But you see the landscape as well, and maybe turn the landscape off. You can do this by going into your outliner and just hitting this, and now you see the you know, the what's it called? You see it basically in here. You see the outline in here. You see the front as well. And again, if you want to go back, you just hit lit basically. I think, or is it unlit? It's lit, isn't it? Oh, it's perspective. I'm sorry. Perspective. To basically, you see the gizmo that is right here, right? It gets really tedious fast if you have to do it every time like that, like moving stuff around, and like, you know, that's not how we're going to do it. If you're going to go to modeling, Shift F5, you can see here that there's like X form, D form, model, and everything. But I use, most of the time, I use my merge, I use mesh cut, I use edit pivot, dynamic sculpt, warp, and deform polygroups. What you want to do now is you want to edit the pivot and just center it. This causes it to be in the center of your mesh. And now what you can do is, let's go over to the Falco real quick. Go into construction, or no, wait, it's a mesh, I think. Let's say you want the backing thing in here, right? What you want to do again is edit pivot here, again center, because it's going to be easier way later down the line. What you also can do is you can select this, go to details, and then select the location, copy it, and basically paste it over there. Paste it. It should be the same. Wait, what is happening? Buffalo, copy, and Falco, paste. Should be the same now, isn't it? Yeah, okay. Now, if you want to basically make this a little bit more smoother, just make sure you tick this off. You can place this everywhere you want to. Obviously, you want it to have been connected to some sort of thing here, and then just scale it a little bit upwards so it's the same. Make sure everything is connected, otherwise you'll not satisfy your customers. Or players, or whatever you want to call it. Now this is connected, as you can see. Let's say you wanted this to be together, right? So when you export things over, you make sure everything is together. You want to merge this into a new object. What this does is it merges these two objects together into one. And now you can actually start creating something that's just literally like everywhere. You can create something out of new, like out of like a kit bash. Like you would just hit different walkers together and become one with the static mesh, as you can see. Let's say you wanted to have this the exact same way as it is over there, right? But you can't do that, otherwise you have to like scale it up, and you don't want to have this size difference. So what you do now is you deselect everything, and you create a new box. You go over this box real quick, and you just drag it down and into the mesh, and you just scale it literally, and like put it in here. Make sure everything is covered, that there's nothing like leaking underneath, and that should be fine. So now you select this thing, you select the box, and you select the mesh cut, which you can find in Xform, I believe. No, it's in here, model, and then mesh cut. And now you have this selected with the box, and what it does, it cuts out the mesh. You can try and fix holes if you want to do that, or use first mesh materials as well. But we're just going to leave it as is, and we're going to accept it. So now you can delete the box, and you can move this freely around, as you can see. Now what you have made is two new different objects. And once you go into your content drawer, you'll see that the focal packing, for example, it's cargo. If you go into the cargo, it made a whole new object, but the other thing doesn't exist anymore. This is because you created a new object out of the existing one. And this is wrong, basically. This is no bueno, basically. You don't want to do this. But then you probably ask, what do I do? Well, not that, obviously. What you want to do is you want to make sure these two are connected, and then you select this box, and you want to merge this box with the new object, which creates a new object. So if you go into your content browser right now, you'll see that these are not connected. This new box is not connected with the old one, and it just doesn't make it into the existing mesh that you're using. So what you want to do now is you want to create a box again. You want to just accept this and just create it just a little bit better. Just go over it basically, and just hit the blue one here now, and then just drag it down, if I can find the right one. There we go. I feel like that's gonna be good. Now you want to select this. You want to select this box. You want to go to mesh cut, and you want to mesh cut this box out. And now this is a new object. It's called combined something something something. And what you want to do now is you want to do the same thing that we did before, only this time it's going to work and it's not going to like take space off of the existing mesh. So what you want to do now is just click that, mesh cut it again, delete this box, move it, and there we go. So now if you go into the content drawer and you drag this in, it stays the same. So you can use this for future projects without it actually removing your mesh. And be sure to always do pivot and then just do center if you don't know where your pivot is. This way you can always find it back. Let's say you're working on this huge project and you're just, you have this like a door and everything, and you just don't know where the pivot is. It's like so annoying because it's just far off in the distance or something. Just always just change the pivot into the settings, and then it's just easier. Let's say that this is a walker and you said like, okay, this is a finished build, right? Obviously it's not, but you want to have it finished, right? We're just going to combine everything over here, and then we're going to merge it. In the merge section, you can go to combined, and you can call this, for example, test walker. Now, what this does is it has all the materials that's essentially going to be needed for the textures. But you see world grid material is in here as well. You want to change this up to the world grid material that is also used in the same project. Not in the Unreal Engine 5.3, but the actual. So it's the same color, basically, is what I'm trying to get at. So, say for example, you want to have this test walker out in Last Oasis Modkit right now. Just go to go to here. You see the static mesh right there, and just browse to the test walker, right? Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna right click on it, you go to Asset Actions, and you go Export. Now what this does is it exports the test walker here with the whole static mesh, and it's going to basically it's going to wait, let me just put this in not desktop, this PC, then the D file. Let's just make a new folder right here real quick. Let's call it test walker. Obviously that's not the way to do it. You just have to like make a folder, and just for all your FBX files. So you just call this test walker 1 and just save it, and make sure to take FBX 2018, because in Last Oasis Modkit it's all FBX 2018 files, because there's no older version of it. And then just click export. Make sure to save it always. This asterisk, that means it's not saved. But yeah. Now it's saved. Now you can close this actually. You can save selected if you want to. Entitled, so save. I'm sorry about the pings, by the way. Alright, now you can go to Epic Games. And you want to go to Last Oasis Modkit. You want to launch this, right? You want to create a new folder. You want to go into mods, just create a new folder, and you want to call this the FBX static mesh folder. Of course, it can't have spaces in between. And what you now want to do is you want to go to where you saved the vehicle, the static mesh, the test walker, and you just want to copy this over and just export it into, well, import it into this. So everything should be as it is, and then just hit import all. You'll realize that it has no collision, but we can do that in the engine of Unreal Engine 4, which is what the Lo Modkit uses. It's going to take a while because you're importing something. Alright, so now it's important. What you want to do is you want to save this, because otherwise you'll just lose the static mesh. You want to go... I hate data table options. You want to go into edit, and you see the Walker static mesh is in here. And now you see it's like, oh, it doesn't have any color. How do I fix this? Well, what you want to do is you want to hit the world grid material, and you want to search for something alike. So you want to go into assets here and just hold world grid material. Don't think you even need this one actually. Just say dingy 5 here, and it will change the color to it. So dingy 1 to dingy 1 to dingy 3 to dingy 3, and walker 2 to walker 2, and so forth and so forth, and rope off as well. So as you can see, this thing didn't change here. This is probably because it's the M dingy dingy tree that you need, which is in most cases the same thing, as you can see. Or dingy 1. It's probably dingy 1, isn't it? No, it's dingy 3. So there you go. Now you brought over some static meshes and the exact like thing to actually make a new walker. So feel free to make your own designs now, and make sure you always check the what's it called? Make sure you always check the textures actually, because I fucked up here. So yeah, just feel free to cut around, like make your own. I'm sure you get up to some crazy designs here. This is very basic. There's so much more to the modeling stuff as well on Unreal Engine 5.3. You can always just export some stuff over to Blender and just do your own stuff on Blender. But I'm not that good on Blender stuff, so that's why I'm using everything on Unreal Engine 5.3. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. And if you have any questions, be sure to, you can always just ask on Discord. It's better to just DM me actually, instead of like pinging me on Discord, because I don't see the messages on Last Oasis. I've muted everything on that. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Ciao, ciao. Have a good one.